Hey there, McAllister here with Toasty DIY, and today I'm doing a quick video over how to write a monologue for your big bad evil guy in D&D, and this is just a quick format and some recommendations on places to go to make it easier and better if you're new to writing or if you're just trying to get something done for a session. Here's a basic format and it'll make it easier to follow. Main thing is that you start with your driving force. So if your player's been playing for 2 years, you don't want them to have forgotten what makes this villain bad. This should theoretically be standalone. If this villain were to do a monologue anywhere, people should have a general idea of what's going on from this driving force alone, what makes this person do what they do. It reminds everyone why they tick and lets the players know if they haven't talked to this person or met them, why they are so evil. Next up, all villains will talk about why they're going to win or why the party's going to lose. They should have a moment where it's, because you did this, you will not be able to beat me. Because I did this, I am unstoppable. This is going to make it all the more rewarding when they are proven wrong. And if they do win, then it means that they were right, and that's made them a villain and made them a good one. Next up, though, is they are a villain, so likely they are doing something wrong. If this is the case, we're going to confirm the flaw in their idea. If they believe, the weak cannot protect themselves, that's maybe a good thing. A hero could say that, and that's why they stop and help people. But a villain would say, so, let's get rid of the weak. So this is where you confirm why they're a villain and not a good guy, and why this driving force has ultimately corrupted them or made them worse of a person. And then I always like to end it with something happening that will push forward the story, whether it be a fight that's about to happen or they've just stolen the key MacGuffin or whatever it is. They now need to commit an act. So during these, don't forget that during a monologue with D&D specifically, you can still paint a scene. You can have them interact with objects and talk. I know it's kind of difficult because a lot of players may try to interact during the middle of this. For me, to stop the players from interacting with it, I usually change the music, or I generally say, hey guys, this session there'll be a monologue, just I'm excited for it, and let them know, and then they'll be ready to hear their big bad guy talk. And this prevents players from trying to interact during that. But if you get it into a scene in which the very end of the evil king's gesture is to cut off someone's head, or the sign a paper that's going to give over lands to the evil people, at the very end of the monologue you should have an actionable thing that pushes the scenes forward, so it doesn't just end on this dead note. It ends on something that the players now immediately want to interact or fight with. That will push most scenes forward, and I think that makes the best monologue, because remember that time, he lopped off that head, and then it's like, oh yeah, he did that whole speech before, it was cool, we knew he was bad and all that. So if you're trying to write one and you're trying to write one efficiently, I recommend this layout. Now, if you want to write it quicker, ChatGPT is a great place for writing prompts. You just tell it, hey, I'm writing a novel. Just tell it you're writing a novel, makes it easy. And say, there's a king, blah, 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 and I want him to be evil. He is doing this thing. I want you to write me an evil monologue centered around perfection or a central theme. And then make sure to go through and tweak it. So you say that, you may say, I want this perfection theme. Go back and then reorient it with that framework in mind. And now with this new dialogue you have, you can snip out parts and put in more close ties to your party. So if they say, ChatGPT won't know, and it'll write a novel and say some random thing about a country that it makes sense in its context, you snip that out and replace it with a party, whatever you got to do. But this is really good if you can get ChatGPT to write you out your basic writer's prompt, where you can be like, oh, there's something that gives me inspiration in the write. I don't recommend always using ChatGPT because it won't understand poetry, and the idea of this field expands as long as a dream, things like that might be very cool to your players. If you can attach certain metaphors, it won't know those, and so I don't recommend using ChatGPT outright unless you're very nervous and you just want something to get on paper first. But once you've gotten that, very good, just match it to this, and I think you'll have a really good speech. If you need some more help, I'll link this below. This is a monologue builder based off a D12 system someone on Reddit put together. Really cool. You can use it and read through these for some good starting line. You have that same source of anger as what they do as their beginning, the number of times they've attempted to do this, how they're doing it, and then all the things they've done to get here. You could just roll in this table to have a pretty good villain monologue if you'd like to, and that's awesome. Here's that initial Reddit post in case you want to find it. And then here's my final one if you want to look at it. We'll just kind of go over real quick. So I'll put this on the screen like so. Driving force in this one, it is, you always wanted perfection from me, didn't you, Dad? Is the first line. I put that in there because I want this whole speech and his driving force to be about perfection. Next, he talks about why he left home and all the things he's done. He's done it without anyone's help, and he's really just saying, you failed me, and continues forward with that. And in the same paragraph, he admits why he's doing it, how he's gotten to the point of doing this. And he's saying, that I've already succeeded, you've already lost. And he confirms his flaw that he is perfect. He says, I am perfect at it. I have some narrative of him looking out over somebody, and at the end, he commits the act. He says, don't ever talk to me again. That's the ending. So this one's a not large stake. but he says, "Don't ever talk to me, or no one will forget me again." He's saying that he'll make sure his name is remembered forever, and currently that is all happening. So this gives a really easy structure to it, and if you want your villain to sound evil and feel evil, this is usually how I write it, because I want the players to feel nervous, scared, or excited to beat this guy up. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. I'd be happy to help. Appreciate you all for watching. So like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you. Peace.